Hey guys, it's Randy with Randy Reviews, and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do a review about Poshmark selling, specifically the new closet partner feature. So let me just give you an overview if you've never sold on Poshmark. Basically, you create a account, you can upload and sell pretty much anything under the sun outside of like nail stuff. I'm not sure if you can sell perfume, but I know you can sell clothes, shoes, purses, home decor items, sunglasses, accessories, belts, um, yeah, collectibles, vintage pieces. I don't think you could sell furniture on there. But anything pretty much that you can wear on your body, you can sell on Poshmark. So, to give a backstory to my Poshmark journey, basically, I started selling on Poshmark heavily in 2022. So, it's been almost 3 years. I sold off and on in 2020 and 2021, but not heavily. 2022, that's when I really like created my name and decided like, okay, I'm gonna sell. Obviously, I was started off with items that I had in my home that I wanted to get rid of or sell, but then I also became a reseller where I could buy wholesale and then resell for a profit. Um, I do not recommend becoming a Poshmark wholesaler. The prices are outrageous. What they charge for what you're going to make off of the items, especially in shoes and clothes, is just not even worth it. Sell stuff that you have at home because we all got too much shit. Let's just be frank. And if you don't, thrift and then sell or get stuff donated to from you from people that you know. Like try to get the stuff as cheap as possible if you want to be a reseller. I think the whole idea of Poshmark was not to be like reseller heaven, but it was more so for people who wanted to be sustainable, um, sell out and swap out their items, clothes, and purses and stuff to try new things, blah, blah, blah. But of course, it's an open market, so people are going to do what they want to do. And then, like I said, they actually have a wholesale slash boutique option. Once you get to a certain extent, like you become a Posh ambassador and you have a certain amount of sales and stuff, then you can get qualified to become a boutique slash wholesaler or whatever. But like I said, I don't think it's worth it. The prices are not great, and they're basically doing what you're trying to do. They're reselling their items. They can consider it wholesale because they have a wholesale certificate of some type. I don't know how you become a wholesaler. That's a whole nother story. But they're not great prices. Like, for example, they'll have like three pairs of shoes for like, $80 or whatever. Three pairs of like Steve Madden shoes or something for like $80. So, to make a profit, you would have to sell each of those pairs of shoes for like, I don't know, $50 or whatever. But they're not unique shoes. Like everybody's selling them on Poshmark, or you can go to DSW and get them. You know what I'm saying? So they're not like worth the price. And so you end up slowly but surely lowering the price to make a sale. And then if you break even, you're doing well. But anyway, that's that. So the main thing I want to talk about is the closet partners because that's like a new feature, and I've been doing it for about 4 months now. So I just felt like it was time for me to give my 2 cents. So basically, what the closet partner is basically you get shipped a bag of items from a Poshmark seller who does not have the time or want to um, list their own items. You can't pick the items. You can't pick how many. The only thing you can pick is how often you get a bag. So the options is one bag every 1 to 4 weeks or one bag every 2 weeks. But even though those are the options listed, once you get to the weeklies, you can opt out of a week whenever you feel like it. So I have the one bag every 2 weeks set, but once I get a bag, I opt out for the rest of the month. So I've been getting one bag a month, which for the amount of items I've been getting, I feel like it's pretty decent. I think they should add that as an option because ain't no way, unless you're like doing this full time, there's no way you have time to list a bag every week, multiple bags every week. Even one bag every week is a lot for me. So one bag a month has been good. The first bag that I received had 34 items. The second bag had 17 items. The third bag had 26 items. And the most recent bag had 29 items. So as you can see, it's up in the air. I guess it's based on what that closet partner wants to send you. I don't know on that end how they get to choose what they send you and how many items they send you because you don't know until you list them. Like they don't give you a list to say, here's what's being sent to you, or you don't get to choose what type of items you want to receive. You don't get to choose anything. It's basically a surprise. So the first bag that I received, like I said, it was 34 items. It was mostly clothes. I think it was maybe two or three handbags in there. It was no shoes, mostly clothes, which I'm okay with. I prefer not to sell clothes because I don't know, it just takes a long time for people to buy clothes. I feel like shoes and purses go faster, accessories go faster. But the main thing that I didn't like about this bag was that it was like 90% jeans. Jeans are so freaking hard to sell, number one. And second of all, they're hard to take pictures of because it just looked like, whatever, a pair of pants. So somebody has to really truly want this item. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a standout item. So out of those 34 items, mind you, I got this bag in July. This was my first bag. I started in July. I've only sold 13 out of 34 items. So not even half of this bag I've sold. The second bag that I received in August was only 17 items, which was more feasible. It was, but it was a bad bag. It was only 17 items, but y'all, most of these items were worn to the bone. Like most of them should have been donated. They had an option once you done listing, they asked you like, did you list everything or were there items that were unlistable? Unless there's like rips, stains, tears, like really, really worn out items, to me, everything is listable because even if you make, $3 on an item or $4 on an item, you still made something. So it's like, should I list this for 3, $4 or should I just say, no, this is not listable? They don't really give you help with that. You got to make your own decision. And like I said, most of these items I would have just donated, but I didn't want to just not make any profit or not make any profit for that person because also the whole thing is you split 50-50 the profit with that person who provided the items. So they get the money for providing the items, you get the money for listing, sharing, and packaging and shipping the items. But it's like these items is not worth the headache to me because most of them I'm only gonna make 3-4 bucks because I'm listing them at a very low price because they're worn to the bone. Like one um outfit that I sold, it was like Adidas set or whatever. The lady opened the case on me and wanted to return the item, saying that they were too worn out. And I'm like, that's never happened to me before because most of the time when I'm selling stuff, like my own stuff, it's barely worn or brand new. Like that's just how I get down. Like if it's something I done wore 20, 30 times, return I'm donating it unless it's an expensive thing like uh, a designer handbag or something like that. But clothes like a t-shirt or something that I've worn 20, 30 times, I'm not about to try to sell that. Like that's just don't even make sense. But I don't know. This lady did. So yeah, most of her items I felt like were not good. The third bag that I received in September had 26 items in it, and it was all purses and wallets, and 90% of them were brand spanking new. So I feel like this was a great bag for my type of closet because that's what I go through quickly, and the items were in great condition. So it was easy to feel comfortable putting them in my closet, not having to worry about somebody trying to return it or give me a low score. And you know what I'm saying, making a decent profit because a lot of them were like name brand handbags, like Coach and Michael Kors, Tory Burch. It was even an LV wallet in there. Like just like good items. So I was able to sell those pretty quickly. I've already sold 22 of the 26 items, and that was September's handbag. I mean, September's um, consignment bag. And then my fourth bag, which I just got about a week ago, had 29 items in it. I've only sold once so far because I just got that bag. And then it took me like a week to actually list everything and post it. But 90% of those items were brand spanking new, still had tags on them. It was mostly clothes and some shoes, but I feel like it was a great consignment bag because most of the items were new or in great condition. So it was easy to list. The only thing I didn't like was that it was a lot of black, and it's just hard to photograph like black items. Like it just looked like a pair of black pants. You can't tell any of the details and whatnot. So somebody has to want that specific item to be like, oh, that's the thing I want. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only downside. Like I said, I'm not really into consigning clothes. I put post clothes that are in great condition or brand new from my own like real life closet because I just want to make something off of them and recoup a little money. But for the most part, I donate most of my clothes because I just feel like clothes get worn way faster than accessories. So there's that. Um, the other thing is once you list all of the items, you have 2 days to ship because they come in like this Poshmark bag, and these bags are like reusable and they're like needing to go to the next person. So you basically have 2 days after you list all of the items to ship that bag to the next person. Like they'll send you a notification saying, you know, Karen needs a bag, and then you ship it to Karen. Most of the time, it's somebody in your same city and state who need that bag. And I'm like, okay. So basically, you have to have storage for these items because you don't get to keep them in that bag that they came in. You have to remove them from that bag, put them in another bag or a tote or whatever you can store them in until you sell them, which causes a problem because that's a lot of storage. If you get a new bag every week, you got to have a damn house with a dedicated location for all of that stuff. Because what? That's 40, 40, 70, 80, 90, 99, 106 items. So you got to have a place to store 106 items. And like I said, if you get in the bag more frequently than me, which is the main options, you're probably getting double this every month. So that's one drawback. You gotta have storage for this stuff. Um, I bought these tote bags, these 20-gallon plastic zip up tote bags from Walmart that are like $5, and they're similar to the Poshmark bags, except they're made of plastic. The Poshmark bag is made of like a cloth material, a nylon material, so they kind of go hand in hand. So I'm able to store it pretty easily, but that's one downside to being able to do more and more bags because you got to have somewhere to put all this stuff until you sell it. Um, Overall, so I'll tell you my pros and cons list. Pros, you're getting items to resell for free. That's like the biggest pro. You're not paying for any of this stuff. You're getting it for free. You're not paying for shipping, none of that. Cons, you don't get to choose the items. You don't get to choose how many items. You don't get to choose anything besides how often you get a bag. So it's a surprise game. Um, Another pro is you uh outside of the free items, what's the other pro to doing this? I mean, you're building your closet. If this is something you want to do, you know what I'm saying? The more sales, the more better, the more followers you get, blah 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 blah. That's always a pro. The con is you got to split the money with the person, and you're doing all the main work, but you have to split the profit with that other person who sent you the items. And the mankind, which I didn't realize until after the fact, when they review, like when a buyer reviews, they're reviewing you. So they are not reviewing the person who sent those items. So if they think that something is, you know, too worn or it has a stain on it that you forgot to send a picture of or whatever the case may be. I got a negative review. Well, it wasn't negative, but they gave me like a 3 out of 5 because a sweater that somebody sent me from the closet partnership that somebody purchased and I sent out. They said it had too much perfume on it. So I'm paying for somebody having too much perfume on a sweater. Like, yeah, I got the sweater, but I'm not about to be washing all these clothes. Number one. Number two, it's not my perfume. So I'm just like, okay, and then like I said, the one lady who opened the case on me saying the clothes items were too worn. It's like, who am I to say that these clothes are too worn? Like, even if I put that in the description, it's somebody who might think they're fine. And like I said, there was nothing like ripped or torn or faded on the clothes. So to me, they weren't too worn. I still wouldn't have posted them for a profit, but they weren't too worn to the point where I'm like, oh no, ain't no way I'm listing these. But the negative falls on me because I'm the person that's posting them. They do show up in the other person's closet. So if somebody just so happens to be, perusing that person's closet, they do show up on their closet, but they still have to purchase through you. So those are like the cons. Overall, I think it's a decent program. I just think they need to you need to be able to be more picky on what you're receiving. And I think for me, that's kind of been the biggest con because I don't want all these damn jeans. Like, I just don't. Like, they take forever to freaking sell. Like, I received that in July. It's basically November. Today's October 31st. What's that? 5 months? 4 months? Ain't nobody going on there buying jeans often like that because you gotta, jeans is personal. Like, you gotta try jeans on. It's not the same as like other items because you want your jeans to fit a certain way. You want your jeans to be made out of a certain material. You want them to hit a certain length on your calf or if they're ankle and blah 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 blah. So it's like it's very hard to just blind buy jeans. So them items is not selling like I want them to. Another thing, and this may be on me because I never really communicated with the partner, but as far as pricing, like, I'm the type of person because they give you a suggested price. I always go off the suggested price. And I'm also the type of person that I don't want to just give away the stuff for free. So I want to make a profit. You know what I'm saying? So if it say that the suggested price is $48 and it's a brand new item, I'm going to market it as $48. Now I might send a discount to someone who's interested or like that item, or I might, do a discount if they're having like the closet clear out sale things that they have often, stuff like that. But I don't want to market for, $15 just to get rid of it. Then me and the closet partner is making $3-4 on something that we could have at least made, you know what I'm saying, $20 on if we would have kept it at the regular price. But sometimes it takes so long for somebody to purchase something, even if it's worth that amount, sometimes you feel like, hey, I'm about to just mark it down because I'm just ready to get rid of it. So this is a game for people who are in it to win it. Like, this is not for people who just want to, you know, get rid of some stuff in their home and make a couple dollars. Cause you might be holding on to this stuff. It's stuff in my closet that I listed for my own personal like items literally like 2.5 years ago that still haven't sold. Some stuff I just had to make a call and be like, donate. You know what I'm saying? If I felt like I wasn't gonna make at least like $10, I was just like, okay, just donate it. You know what I'm saying? But it's items that may take some years for somebody to finally purchase. So you may get saddled with, excuse me, you may get saddled with items that don't sell quickly from these closet partners, and there's really nothing you could do about it. And I felt like one of the closet partners, she was kind of, she kept messaging me saying, oh, what can we do to make these items sell? And I'm like, well, I can share, like I always do. I share 5 to 10 times a day, period. But there's really nothing that I can do to make people purchase these items. I can lower them down to the bare bones to where they're not even worth anything and people will probably snatch them up. But other than that, it's like there's nothing that I can do. You could have a show. They off, that's one of the things that they added. I think maybe 2 years ago, they added the live shows or whatever. But people be wanting you to give that shit away for barely nothing. The minimum auction price is $3. So it's been times like when I first started, I hosted a live show and I started everything at $3 and people was literally getting shit for $3 because nobody else was bidding on it. And I'm like, this is a, you know, $30 jacket or whatever, and I'm having to, because once somebody bids on it, it's theirs. If they win it, it's theirs. You can't cancel. They have to cancel, or their payment can't go, and then you can cancel or something like that. But you can't just be like, no, cancel. So it's like a binding contract. So if somebody wins something for $3, you gotta give it to them. So I don't feel like those live shows are like that. That the way, you know what I'm saying? I would rather spend my time sharing and you know posting and doing sales and stuff like that versus having all them live shows and people getting over on you taking your stuff for little or nothing. So outside of the addition of the live shows, there's no other way to force people to buy. So I was just like, why do you keep messaging me asking me this? Like, stuff will sell when it sells. Like, and also I've only had your bag for like 2 weeks. Like, calm down. But other than that, um, I think it's a good way to build your closet, get more inventory if this is something you want to do, and yeah, try it out, And then if you don't like it, I don't think it's an option directly, just like in the app where you can opt out outside of opting out each week. You probably have to email or contact like customer service to say, I keep yawning. You probably have to contact customer service to say, I want to opt out of this program totally. Um, Otherwise, they're just gonna keep sending you shit. Because the first time, I think the first and second time, they didn't send me an email to say like, "Oh, you're getting a bag" until the day of, and I forgot completely that I had even opted in for that week. So I was just like surprised. And then they tell you to list everything within like 72 hours. But the last bag took me like a week and nothing happened. Like I didn't get penalized for it. So I think that's just like hopeful. But I think as long as you list stuff within a reasonable time, you'll be fine. Because if you sending me 35 items, like I said, unless it's my full time job, you think I'm about to just list all this stuff at one time in one go? Like it's gonna take hours to take pictures, list it, blah 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 blah. So yeah, that's my review of Poshmark Closet Partner selling and what I think about it. I don't know if I'm going to continue. I might opt out for a few more weeks until I get rid of some more stuff, like at least 50%, because I just don't even have anywhere else to store like any more stuff. So that's just me. I don't think I'm completely done with it yet because I do feel like for the most part it's been a hit on what I've been receiving. Besides that one bag that had the like worn out clothes, I feel like the other bags have been pretty good and all them jeans. Them was the only two things I was just like. But other than that, I feel like the items have been pretty good. They kind of match my aesthetic and match what I want to sell. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep on tracking and see where it gets me. Maybe for the next, I don't know, 6 months or so. However, until I feel like okay, I don't want to do this no more. Just see how much money I can make off of it. It's not that difficult to just take pictures. And now they have like a smart list AI thing that builds out and fills in most of the other information like the description and all of that stuff. So it's quicker, than the old school way. So I might just keep going to see how much money I can make. I'm always gonna be listing stuff that I have because I'm constantly, you know, decluttering my closet and getting rid of stuff that I'm not wearing or whatever that's in good enough condition to resell. So I feel like why not keep with the closet partnership until I'm, don't feel like dealing with it no more. So that's my review, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.